Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
Hello.
Hi, Lauren. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm okay. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before, basically when you get up on Tuesdays and Fridays. We've already done that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, on the TikTok now and again. On Instagram is Wilder Show Pod. Email is podcast@wildershow.com, or do what many do. You engage us wherever you find us. You'll write, a comment or a thumbs up or whatever. You can do it there. Or if you want to send an email to podcast@wildershow.com, that's okay too. Wherever you get your podcast, just like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And thank you. And I probably should start by saying happy birthday to my mother, who listens to every podcast, and here is her review. I like the first part that's a lot about the news, and the second part that is really interesting. So happy birthday, Mom. Well, Save the Cheerleader, Save the World.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 36?
36 years old. Such sad news.
Hayden
Panettiere.
Yeah, she was a kid actor too, wasn't she? Before even the cheerleader thing.
From the time she was a baby, she was doing commercials when she was a baby. She was in 2 soap operas, Guiding Light for sure, and I think the other one was Days of Our Lives. Her mother was also a soap opera actress. She might have done other things too, but I think that she maybe is the one who sort of got her, got her daughter into it. Yeah,
got it. Stage momish.
I don't know about that.
Or just following mom's footsteps.
Yeah, it was an in for something that it maybe seemed like she had a natural ability for, and it just
made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And wasn't she the girl screaming in the crowd at the Titans movie?
Well, she was the daughter of the coach,
That's
the young daughter of the coach,
little blonde,
who was really into football and Remember the Titans.
Yeah, Remember the Titans. That's right. It seems like I remember her in the crowd screaming something, standing up and screaming, "Don't you know how to block?" or something. Maybe
so. Maybe so.
And
she was really young and really cute in that.
Cute,
I mean, she couldn't have been more than 10 or 11.
So. Yeah, for sure. Maybe younger. I was not really ever into the cheerleader thing. I mean, it was
Heroes?
Was that around the time of Lost, or it's like Lost and Heroes were sort of back to backish?
Yeah, similar timing.
I just never really. I watched it, I think.
I think I watched the first season, but maybe not the second.
And then I was reminded. It's really funny. I was talking to my son Chris for whatever he was rewatching Heroes, and so we talk about rewatching a lot. And so he said, "Hey, I'm rewatching Heroes." This is like 2 days ago, and like that night, we got the news that the girl had died. That the star of the show. He's like, "No way!" But he reminded me. I think there were only 2 seasons, and it never concluded.
Did it end unresolved?
It did. It just stopped because it was canceled.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, so that's hard to believe. I say it's hard to believe. I mean, I don't know. 36 years old. I know she had a very troubled life. She
has.
And, probably some of that was beyond her control. And then some of that becomes stuff you do because of the other stuff that happened to you. Stuff changes people. So anyway. Hard to believe. And I don't think they've given, at least as of the time we're sitting down, a cause of death. But it seems, I don't want to say what it seems reasonable to believe. We'll just wait and see what they say. But I think most people have some idea because she's had past, problems with
She's had addiction issues. Yeah. And probably sooner rather than later we'll know way more than we want to know.
Well, a rather slow news. It probably won't be the case by the time you listen to this, but the time we're sitting down, kind of a slow news day. Not a whole bunch from the weekend. The war is still going on. One thing that's different is the Memorandum of Understanding has now expired. You know that thing we signed? That we signed and Iran, quote, signed, and then it stayed in place for like a day.
It didn't really mean anything?
No, and then it was violated almost immediately. Israel never wanted us to sign it. Didn't really meet their demands. Well, that has expired now. That MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, has expired. But don't worry, the president says that Iran is now begging for a peace deal now that the peace deal that has been violated has expired. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. We have several Gulf allies in this, and one of those is Oman. We talked about the difference between Oman is the southern part of that strip of water there, that Strait of Hormuz. The southern coast is Oman. That's a different country from Iran. That's the northern coast. And some of the traffic goes in on the northern side and comes out on the southern side. And we talked about, and it was in the memorandum of understanding that ultimately the maintaining of that would fall to be negotiated between Oman and Iran. There were a lot of other things in the memorandum of understanding that were violated. So it really made it sort of void in any case. But the president came out and said, he's talking to Fox News, and the president actually said, if Oman gets in the way, we will bomb the S out of them. That's what we're saying about our ally there.
So presidential.
Our ally that we kind of count on, that we need. This deal isn't done yet. Let's kind of wait till, if you want to really be uppity and all that, let's wait till maybe we get to some success. So the president is threatening that the U.S. will bomb Oman if they get in the way of our efforts. So there you go. Came in a phone interview with Fox News as the peace memorandum expired over the weekend. Speaking of offending our allies, the president had a word to say about South Korea. So, South Korea is our ally, obviously, in the battle between South and North Korea. I've been to South Korea twice. I've stood on the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, on obviously the South Korea side. The time on the North Korea side is a different conversation, but stood there and have heard gunfire being fired from the North Korea side to the South Korea side. There, you can stand there and basically stand on the wall and look over there with, spy glasses or whatever, those things you can put a nickel in and then look through.
Like a telescope?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you can, like they have at the Empire State Building, things like that.
Yeah.
You put a coin in, you can look. And you can see them looking back at you. It's very odd to be able to see that, but you can.
Like how? You mean like through their own?
Yeah, they're over there in a little
scopes?
tower. They're over there in a little tower looking over the South Korea side, and the South Korea people are looking at the North Korea side. And this big strip of land in between is called the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, and that's the part that separates. But we have troops that are there to make sure that North Korea doesn't do anything crazy, and they are our ally, South Korea. So I was surprised to hear, or I was surprised to hear or read. I guess nothing should surprise anymore. But this is what the president put out. First of all, yesterday was the beginning of it's joint military exercises that the U.S. does with South Korea every year. Every year at this time, there are joint military exercises where, our people are working with their people and we're showing them things and training things and we're doing mock things. What would it be like if we had to go do this or had to go do that? Anyway, that happens at this time of year every year. So it was Sunday night. It was yesterday. Remember, they're ahead of us in time. So Sunday night, the president put out this thing on Truth Social about the time all of it was beginning. And here, I'm just going to read it because I think sometimes it sounds like people are making things up when they just read his actual social media.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read it.
It is kind of hard to mock or spoof when they're already.
I mean, it's already there. It's written for you. Here's what it says. Based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, I am not happy with the fact that the United States has long ago agreed to participate in joint military exercises with South Korea. These exercises are not only costly, with much of these costs paid for by the United States of America, as usual, but send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that, as long as Donald J. Trump has been president, has been unthreatening and respectful. Therefore, and based on the fact that it is too late to cancel, I've instructed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to substantially reduce the joint military exercises. While somewhat unrelated, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of the Islamic Republic of Iran. And they said, no thanks. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, unpack some of this. We do joint military exercises because North Korea is not our friend. North Korea is our enemy. And it's good that North Korea hasn't done anything with the nuclear weapons that they now have. They saber rattle a lot, but they don't really do anything. A lot of it is just show. But we don't do this based on who the president is. And why do we seem to want to be more compliant with our enemies, dictators, than our friends who are democratically elected? I've never understood that. And yet the president had a couple of things to say, one about South Korea and one about our friends in Oman. And just one quick thing on the war. Our war with Iran, our war and Israel's war with Iran. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told U.S. envoy and son-in-law to the president, Jared Kushner, that Israel will withdraw its forces in Gaza and allow reconstruction to begin. That's good news, right? Wrong. When Hamas completely disarms. So we'll do this thing that we don't want to do and will never do, if they will do this thing that they don't want to do and will never do. That's according to an Israeli official. The last part was my wording, but which is something they will never do. And Hamas says it will be glad to completely disarm when Israel withdraws all its forces that are currently occupying half of that territory. Well, that will never happen. One other note, according to a separate Israeli source, Netanyahu said making progress on the Trump administration's ceasefire plan for Gaza, which Israel has rejected. Netanyahu says that would be problematic because of the upcoming Israeli elections. That's you should remember that.
Okay.
So this is not going anywhere. There will be no peace deal that will fulfill the stated goals of the president as to why we got into this in the first place. It will not happen. So to review, we are still at war. The end of the memorandum of understanding, that ceasefire, that is now expired. And yet it all is still going on. The president has things to say, mainly about our allies, not about our enemies. And also the ballroom, a little update on that. The ballroom is going to cost $200 million that other people are paying for, but now estimated to cost $400 million. We don't talk about the ballroom anymore. We talk about it as a national security priority because of what they are building under it. Remember I told you off the podcast, I said, this is not about the ballroom. This is about what they want to put underneath it. Believe me, there's something they're doing underneath it. I know it sounds really conspiracy guy, but now even they are saying, yeah, it's not about the ballroom. It's a national security issue. We need to be able to keep going with this. Well, the courts, Federal Appeals Court, halted the above-ground construction and ruled that the president lacks constitutional authority to make substantial physical alterations to the White House without explicit permission and authorization from Congress. Well, good luck with that because it's already torn down.
Right. What do you do now?
It is sort of like saying, well, you can't really do it. I mean, you don't own it. You're a renter. You have a 4-year rental agreement. You don't get to tear down a load-bearing wall.
You just kind of leave it. You put the furniture back where it was when you leave.
So in response, the administration has turned to the Supreme Court, the emergency docket, arguing that the project is 65% complete. Crew of 250 people already on site. Supreme Court is expected to address the stay request by the 21st of August, so in just a few days. Oh, it is a time for Scatter Shoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scatter Shoot. All right.
You know, you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that we'd gotten some engagement.
Oh, yeah.
Or the way, maybe you mentioned the ways people could engage with us. And we did get a little engagement since the last podcast. A few mentioned the library and the Libby app. I do have the Libby app for those who have offered. I've not gotten, I'm not really familiar with it yet, but I do love to listen to books. So I will be using it for that, I'm sure. But I did want to give you an update. So I said, I'd gotten a library card for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
I checked out a book for the first time in a long time. And I was surprised to see that it didn't have the little card on the inside with the date stamped, telling me when the book was due back at the library. So I thought maybe just whenever I felt like it.
Right.
But I did get an email telling me when the book was due. I didn't take it back on that day.
Right.
And then I got another email that said, we renewed it for you.
An auto
I didn't have
renewal?
to do anything.
So it's an auto renewal.
I feel just a little enabled. I mean, they're not really making me do anything. I haven't even finished the book yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even close to finishing the book. I kind of feel like I'm back in high school. I'm not doing any of the things I'm supposed to be doing, and somehow it's all being taken care of
for you,
for me. Yeah. But I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna try to get that book read at the very least.
Okay.
And then also we talked about balancing on one foot. I do want to know, did you try it?
I have not tried it. I did not try it. I've thought about it, but I haven't. But I will do it. I will. I would actually do it right now in front of you. Except I'm afraid you would delight too much in my failure.
No, the only time we've done that,
succeed.
You succeeded.
I did.
With flying colors.
It was a similar thing. It was a test.
It was
that you should be able to do this, and for me, it was just.
Getting up
from
a
matter of
seated, getting up from a seated position on the floor without using your hands to help you, without having to grab onto anything else, being able to just raise yourself up.
You're sitting on the floor. Sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Can you get up from the floor without either pulling yourself up from something, or pressing down against the floor?
You did it.
I thought it was just. I think almost anybody could do it if they do the physics right. If they figured out how to do it. I think most people could do it. I don't think it's that I did something good, except I figured it out.
You know what part of the reason they want us to be able to do that at our advanced age is because if you can do that, you can hold a small child that you're playing with on the floor and lift that small child up off the floor. That you won't have your hands to use if you're lifting up your grandchild.
I thought you were going to say that if you could get up on your own, you could make it to the phone.
Well, it's not just getting up on your. That's true. But it's not just getting up on your own, because you could grab a chair.
That's true.
Or use your hands to get up. The wanting to do it without the aid of something to hold on to or pushing up with your hand is thinking if you're holding on to
I didn't know
a
that
small
was
child and you can get up.
That makes
then
sense.
That's that would be good. And I kind of made fun of you a second ago. I didn't really make fun of you. I giggled a little bit when you said you were thinking about it. And that's not a bad first step, because I noticed it does take concentration
to be able to.
You gotta.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
Oh, you told me that already.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I did or not, but you know what I do? I have an electric toothbrush or like a battery rechargeable toothbrush,
right? And
it gives you 30 seconds for the lower right, and then 30 seconds for the upper right, and then onto the other two quadrants of your mouth. And if you stand on one foot for the first two, and then you stand on the other foot for the second two, then you're getting your minute in on both sides. Well, we did have somebody mention that they were able to. The test is 30 seconds. If you can balance for 30 seconds on one foot on both sides, you can pretty much add 7 years to your life. It
not every time you do it.
Not every. Right. Wouldn't that be nice? Not every time you do it, but if you have that level of functionality in your body that suggests that things are working well enough, that you're doing the kind of things you need to be doing, that you will live probably. You've got at least another 7 years in you. So I'm not a doctor, but I do think if you can do it for 60 seconds. Maybe 90 seconds, just add another 21 years.
That sounds crazy, wouldn't that be something? You're going to count on that.
I'm just going to keep on working on it.
So manifest
See,
it.
I'll be spending Tuesday on one leg.
Yeah, there you go. We also got an input on asking for my report on the loss of gravity for 7
Yeah,
seconds.
We did. Mm-hmm.
Which it was very, very well written.
It was.
Very, very wisely,
very
smartly,
clever.
very cleverly written.
I would say you get extra points for engagement that is clever.
So clever.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was, but I did not report last time. At 8:33 on whatever that was, the 12th of August, which was Wednesday, the day after the podcast, when I was saying tomorrow morning, hold on to something. At 8:33 that morning, hardly anything that I was looking at floated for 7 seconds. Almost nothing.
The time sailed right past me. I never even didn't even consider going to grab onto a tree or a line. I mean, I totally forgot about it. I would have been in big trouble. So speaking of health recommendations and things that I don't know who we really were speaking about. I mean, I guess we were speaking about health recommendations, but we've heard for years and years and years how many moderate exercise minutes should adults get every week. We've been hearing this forever.
I think you're supposed to walk 30 minutes a day. I think it is 5 times a week? 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So 150 minutes of moderate exercise each week. That comes from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Adults need at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity a week, or 75 minutes of vigorous, or a mix. You could do a little muscle strengthening. The World Health Organization aligns really closely with this. Its advice says 150 minutes of moderate activity. Again, 75 vigorous, but additional benefits accrue beyond 300 minutes of moderate activity. The problem is compliance lags. We are as good at this as we are at taking our library books back, or I am at taking my library books back. A CDC report from April of this year said that 47.2% of U.S. adults met aerobic guidelines in 2024. That's not even half of us. Men edged out women a little bit, 52.3% versus 42.4%. So imagine how this is going to go. There is a new study out that says that's not, if you want real gains, if you want real cardiac health, you've got to go bigger than that. A new study suggests that people might need more than that 150 minutes of exercise per week to significantly boost their heart health. Looking for a total of 560 minutes per week may lead to substantial reductions in cardiovascular issues.
Wait, 560 minutes?
560 minutes.
That's 2 hours a day. 560 minutes?
Let's see.
560 minutes. That's 10 56-minute segments.
Yeah.
That's 10. That means 2 times a day for an hour.
That's only 5 days a week, though. Are you giving yourself 2 days off completely?
Well, I guess, but I'm just saying, if you
spread it across the 7 days.
It's still, that is 10 hours. That's 10 hours a week.
That's a lot. It's doable. I mean, it's doable if you're doing something you love.
How is it doable if people were not able to do 1/3 of that?
No, wait, listen. I didn't say they're unable to do it. I said they're not doing it. That doesn't mean they're unable to.
Well, I mean, but if only if 52% of men achieve it when it's 1/10 of this new goal.
You got to work harder, buddy. Just got to.
What is 560 divided by 150? 3.5?
560 divided by 150.
3.5.
3.73.
Okay. So we're talking about almost 4 times the commitment that currently not even half women can do, will do, have done, are doing. I mean, 4 times.
Yeah.
It seems like 4 times that amount. That'd be difficult to get these women or men. I say women because they were less than 50%. And men, I think, were more than 50%.
On any given day, though. I mean, if you really are walking that 10,000 steps a day, if you're doing one weight training workout and then you also do a 30-minute walk, that's an hour right there. But, I mean, that 560-minute mark does seem high. And a lot of this, I think, is made, I shouldn't say made easier. It's made a little more doable with so many people working at home, and you get back those, an hour or 2 hours that you're spending commuting.
Well, that's good luck, everybody. I'm going to cheer you all on.
Okay.
For your 560 minutes
And to add what might be just a whole lot of confusion, there's a little bit more fitness news. If that 560 minutes seems totally out of reach,
Too much.
if that 150 minutes is still wildly out of reach for you, there is another study that says a 3-minute sprint
There you go.
can do a world of good.
There you go.
Now,
I'm in.
You're okay. Can
I'm
you
in
sprint?
for 3. What?
It's
Didn't.
yeah, 3-minute full out sprint.
I heard mainly the 3 minutes.
Yeah,
3-minute sprint.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could. 3-minute sprint.
You can do it on a bike. You could do it on a stationary bike, or it has to do with getting your heart rate up really fast.
Oh, I can do that.
Or really, really high. It has to do with what happens in your blood and how it changes the blood proteins. Sprint triggered proteins were linked to lower risk of heart disease, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. It was a database of more than 53,000 people, but it is just an association and it's not proof of protection.
Okay. Yeah.
But it has to do with what that does to your muscles, and the muscles are a major source of proteins that are released after sprinting. Fat cells show a real strong response to that post-sprint blood too. So keep that in mind. A good solid sprint can be really good for you too.
Yeah, I don't sprint like I used to.
Yeah, well, who among us does?
I'm not as good as I once was. And you'd have to do this every day, 15, what would you say, 3 minutes?
I don't have to do it every day.
But I mean, 3 minutes, that would be the thing, 3 minutes as opposed to
3 minutes. And
either
actually
30 minutes or 2 hours a day.
What they say,
I'd rather go for the sprinting. Figure that out.
What they say is it's a 3-minute sprint workout. So I think really what they're talking about is it's like they call it a cycle workout. I could be wrong about this, but I think it's, you might do 30 seconds at one speed and then 30 seconds a little bit faster and then 30 seconds of an all-out sprint. And then you go back to that slower speed as long as whatever you're doing equals 3 minutes at that sprint. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be, 3 minutes straight at a sprint level speed.
I would probably start with that, mainly because it's 3 minutes. Yeah. But I would try that.
See, I could do anything for 3 minutes, and then you realize, I can't do that for 3 minutes. But I think for me, the bike would be better than the running. Well, biking,
even on a treadmill.
Yeah, it's a lot easier on your body than running. Yeah. Even treadmill running, I think, is a lot easier on your body for me at least than road running. It's nice to be outside, but a treadmill just feels a little bit easier on my body. If not public servants, then what?
There you go.
I have a new word for you that is popular among the Gen Zers, and I just want you to. If a Gen Zer calls you this or describes you as this, it's not a compliment.
This is like unk. We talked about
something like that. Yeah. And I guess it kind of makes sense. Polyester. If they call you polyester, they mean it to describe something that's low quality or cheap.
Okay. So polyester.
Yeah. There's also LARPing.
Oh, I know what LARP. Yeah.
You know what LARPing is?
Live action role playing.
I didn't know that you would know what that is.
I've used it on the podcast before. Well, somebody was LARPing. And LARPing would be, let's say someone goes out to a dude ranch and they never wear boots. Yeah. They never wear jeans that stack. They don't wear a belt buckle.
They're inauthentic.
That's right. They are LARPing.
Yeah.
They would LARP as a cowboy.
Yeah.
That's what LARPing is.
It sort of follows on the performative male trend. Right. Yeah, which referred to matcha drinking, tote bag carrying, young men reading books on the subway.
That's right.
I guess that means that real men don't read books on the subway.
Can I just concur? Real men do not read books on the subway. And
do they read books anywhere, or are we just not reading books anymore?
No, I don't know. Probably they do. I don't want to be too cavemanish. But, there is some of that stuff is very LARPy. Well, it's very, very, this is what I'm supposed to do in this place. Exactly. And since I'm in this place, I want people to see me doing this thing. Sure. It's like, no, at a coffee shop, you can just drink coffee. Yeah. You don't have to, read books in the coffee shop.
You get a following. You get a few people watching the things that you're doing that might really be, to use their word, authentically you. And then the more people you have watching, the more people who are following, it seems only natural that the more performative you might be, the more time and attention you would give to figuring out, well, now they're all here. What do they want to see me do? How can I really make the most of this? And that's exactly it. The rise of terms like polyester and LARPing reflects Gen Z's heightened concern around authenticity. Don Grant, who is a media psychologist, he's the national advisor of healthy device management for Newport Healthcare, told USA Today that Gen Z is very insecure and cautious because they grew up with everything online, and now they don't know what's real and what isn't real.
Well, let me give them a phrase that I think they'll understand. Go touch some grass.
That's good.
Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
That is the Wilder Show podcast. When you wake up on Tuesdays and Fridays, we're here. 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, TikTok now and again. On Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. You can email us at podcast@wildershow.com or just engage us wherever you listen on those platforms. Give us a thumbs up. Comment that helps with the algorithm. Thank you for that. The cleverer, the better. We appreciate that too. And so wherever you get your podcast, would you like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share? And we'll appreciate that. And Lauren, thank you.
You bet.
We'll see you next time. Happy birthday, Mom. Da 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 da.